another episode of The Chaotic Minds. I am Devontae Ewing, aka DJ Thunderbase, and I am joined today by my co-hosts.
Hello, guys, girls, and squirrels.
Sure.
I'm Henry Motney, also known as Mayhem the Heart's Mace. Hey, how you guys doing?
Hello, and I am Dark Trooper coming from your secret location, aka my couch.
I knew it.
And we got a good show for you tonight, but to start things off, we're going to start it off like we always do, with our relationships with Mayhem the Heart's Mace.
All right, people. Remember, when it comes to the first thing, when it comes to all relationships, no matter what it is, to guy, girl, or otherwise, if not friendship or relationship and or family or friends, communication is key. Communication is key to almost everything that you deal with. You always have to make sure you have that proper data to transfer through to understand, to know what the answers are, and sometimes to understand the proper response. So we're going to go into that a little bit today about relationship responses. When you respond accordingly to your significant other and or friend or coworker or such, you respond to them with a calm and or reactive tone unless it is needed otherwise. Don't just yell and scream at somebody for no reason, not unless you're trying to get their attention because they're in a loud or dangerous area. If you're trying to communicate with your significant other, don't raise your voice unless you have to, and even then, try your best to be mindful about it. And also, when it comes to it, remember, keep your cool, even if there is some kind of stress and or strain in your day. It's best for you not to lose your temper or get upset with the ones you care about and or friends, and also same thing for coworkers, because it could get you in trouble and or lose your job or your relationship or such. So mindful of your P's and Q's and how you speak to others out of respect and courtesy.
You're not calling your HR lady a hoe.
Yes, don't do that. Never do that. Don't trust talk text either.
No matter how much you want to, just don't.
Damn talk text. I will hate Google talk text. That's horrible, though. Don't do that. But always make sure you have things corrected and errors. Make sure there's no issues and or drama. Don't be rude or disrespectful to anybody. And communicate when it's needed, please, and thank you. Now, when it comes to that for certain things, relationships, is there anything you guys have for ideas or suggestions or things to pull up that we can communicate about?
I'm trying to think.
Any scenarios in your life that you would, or people that you know, you just don't bring up names if you don't mind. Try to be discreet out of respect.
The relationship between step parents is a very difficult one because you are entering a family unit that's already established, and it's very difficult to establish an active role in that person's life. See, so many people look down on step parents because I was like, oh, they're only step parents. I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy who, or the girl who came into this person's life and actually gives a damn about this kid's life. It's like that's a bad thing.
Well, there's I get where you're coming from. Sometimes it's a pro and con. Sometimes the step parent oversteps the boundaries, or they sometimes make make the child into a victim. They're doing something horrible and rash that they should never have done, because sometimes that happens. Got to be mindful of those. There are predatorials, but there's predatorials everywhere. For step parents, stepdad was a pretty nice guy. I respect him for a lot of things. I just feel bad that he's had several strokes and heart attacks.
Well, married to your mom, I can't imagine why he would have stress.
Yeah, stress and strain. I love my mom, but I know why it's so good for me to have communication in such a chaotic world because I know how to handle the worst when it comes to being yelled or screamed at or mentally, emotionally manipulated by others and such throughout the world. You get that from skills. That's why I'm fixated on helping out with relationships such as all genres, from your significant other to your friends to your coworkers. It's just something you need to do for communication. My other step parents, sometimes they were good, sometimes they're bad. Didn't like it. I'm just glad my parents decided to do their divorcing after we were already adults and already over 18 and up. So they chose their choice, and we were already on our own paths in lives. The stepdad, pretty cool. Stepmom, half and half. All depends on the scenario. Besides that, when it comes to other kind of relationships, just be respectful when you can. I myself will admit I have not been the best at times when it comes to communicating with the rudeness when it came to said parents of or family members. Sometimes I'm rude, but it's sometimes to teach them a lesson because they weren't listening or they're being disrespectful or thinking that they can just walk all over you. And we don't do that. It's about equality and respect in our own manners of we are on the same playing field until we have to prove otherwise, which is combat. We don't need that. What we need to do is just have a mutual conversation and respect towards one another. That's why I try my hardest to communicate with people. I message people and I make sure that I try to do it correctly because over time you will learn if you message somebody rudely and abruptly, you're not usually going to get a response or you're going to get a rude one back. If you want to write something out, read it and then delete it, then rewrite it in a nicer way. Learn how to be nicer when it comes to your communicative skills, especially when it comes to the internet. Sometimes that stuff will haunt you or follow you. Other things, you just got to own it and just pass on to know that you grew and became a better person. And on that note, I think that goes for anything for relationships, unless anybody else has anything. If not, I think it's a little bit time for some lore.
Hello, my fellow true believers out there on the interwebs, on the government-sided information highway run by the government.
All right, the real internet's hidden from us now.
Today, we're going to be talking about a very interesting Scottish myth called the Gillydoon. He is a guardian of the forests of Scotland. He's a solitary male fae, dark of hair, and wears foliage for his clothing. Like he literally has a cloak of moss and leaves. He's very kind to kids, but hates everybody else. He actually kills people and turns them into compost and for the trees. It's hardcore. He's a hardcore environmentalist. Anyway, not known as much as known about him, but there are some stories where he's actually used to be a human and was taken by he went into the forest. It was taken by the Fae, raised by the Fae, and he but rejected by the fairy courts because he was not Fae, and they don't like. And the Fae are very, very racist when it comes to, especially when it comes to humans. There's only one story that really had him as a prominent figure. Is about a little girl named Jessie McRoon. She went wandering one day. After all she's done her chores, she went wandering into the forest. She wandered, got way too far deep into the forest and got lost. And after spending all day, she finally collapsed out of just tiredness and sheer exhaustion and started weeping. Well, this is when the Gillydoon found her. In some stories, he helped guide her back to. He helped guide her out of the forest and got her back home before nightfall. In some stories, he comforted her until morning and then took her home. Either way, she got home safe and sound. He was the only creature. She was the only person to ever talk to him, and him actually talking to her. What else is there? And because of that, and because of the fact that he also doesn't like human beings entering his territory, the local lord named Sir Hector McDougan of Glacier invited a group of other of his clan to go hunting him down and capturing him. After a mighty feast, they went out there all night and looked for him. Never found him. He was never seen again. Funny fact, though, the Gillidoon was actually a reference and an inspiration for a modern-day military equipment known as the ghillie suit. First used in 1916 by the Locust Scouts. It was the first regiment of the British Army to become full-fledged snipers during the second. What was it? The second Boer Wars. It was the wars in South Africa, and the local lord who actually started them actually recruited from stalkers and game wardens. So, just a fun fact to add to that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions?
So, where did it was it rumors at first, or was it just people talking in lore, or?
It was mostly just rumors, like maybe people going into his territory and they go missing, they blame the Gillidoon.
Okay, so sometimes he was a scapegoat.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why they hunted him down, because one, he didn't like people hunting in his territory, hunting the wildlife in his territory, so he killed them, turned them into compost. Nobody liked the local lord. Yeah, the local lord didn't like that because it's like, hey, that's my forest. I can go in that effing forest if I want to. But they never found him, mostly because he looked like a big old shrub, because he was wearing a ghillie suit.
Well, knowing's half the battle.
Well, he was also like very up to date with he knew that forest like the back of his hand. So it's like,
it's almost like when you're looking in a mirror and you see a celebrity behind you and you go, "Oh, happy birthday."
Yeah, it is time for celebrity birthdays. And we will be starting off today with August 28th. Starting it off with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jack Black.
Oh, man. I remember seeing him in Never Ending Story 3 as the villain. And I forgot that it was him because he changed completely right after that. But I've seen him in quite a few things. I enjoy Jack Black a lot. Also, big Tenacious D fan. I'm actually writing and working on a D&D story for us for a Tenacious D of the Bong of Destiny. As we already have the pick, now it's time to go for the Destiny again. Or it's something even more unique. Jazz of Destiny. But it'll be a bard story. And I already have their figures. They're D&D dwarf versions of them. Who's the next birthday?
Louis Gasman, 69. Giggity. He is actually playing recently. He's actually playing Gomez in the new Wednesday series.
Nice. I have one right here. Jennifer Coolidge, 64, movie actress. Now I actually had a crush on her back in the day as Stifler's mom and such, amongst the other things that she was in back in the day. Yeah, that's Stifler's mom.
She's also from Legally Blonde.
Yep, and Two Broke Girls and a bunch of other things. I enjoyed her. She's also just funny how she plays as her character.
Oh.
We actually talked to her in real life, though.
Oh my gosh, the interaction with her and Terry Crews.
I swear those two should have had a baby. It would have been the greatest thing ever.
I got one. Daniel Stettern, movie actor in 1968. You would know him best as one of the sticky
Daniel
bandits
Stern?
from Home Alone.
Daniel Stern?
Daniel Stern. He's 68 years old.
Wow. Yeah, he great actor, reactionary, 100% one of the best facial reactionaries of over the top scream freak out. Some of that stuff actually was real pain that he was doing, by the way. So he bombed it on it. Like bombed in the good way, not the bad way, and just it was great. He hit the target. All right, so next on the list, got Jason Presley, 56. Call Me Fitz and Will Soso for some of his stuff he did. All right, who's next on the list before we shift over?
Luis Guzman.
I don't think so.
69.
Oh yeah, we did Luis Guzman.
Okay,
We did. Okay.
How about Charlotte Porter, 53? She's a jazz singer.
Nice. And we also got Billy Board, 57, movie actor.
Here's one.
Seed of Chucky. Yeah, I remember him. Seed of Chucky.
This is the man with the many voices, Brian Hull.
Awesome. All right, we'll do one last one for this one before we shift over to the next one. Here's Kim Si Jong, 29, pop singer.
I'll let you guys take the first one because I know you guys like him more than I do.
Ooh.
And
Do you want to take it or me?
I'll take
fans.
Let Devontae have him.
I studied this guy for 3 years straight.
Oh yeah, this is your guy.
Only to find out when I finished studying the dude that he had passed away. From 1958 to 2009, the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. And then we're on August 29th with that one.
He was one of my favorite when it came to a lot of different singing songs. Also the moonwalk and doing the splits.
I only like the Thriller movie. I only like the Thriller song.
I love all of them because I understood the story behind each song and how he explained it, because I love the tale of how a song can tell the story and you can imagine it, let alone how he could tell it and you could see it.
It's a lot. I take a lot of inspiration when it comes to lyric writing from Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, it's too bad another one right here against weird shit. He did do some weird stuff, but I don't believe what everybody tried to say for, because they came out years later saying that it wasn't true anyways. They did it for
I got another one right here.
Yes.
Lea Michele. She's from Glee. She's also been on Broadway. She was Rachel Berry in Glee, and she also played in the original Spring Awakening, and is gonna be in Funny Girl, the new upcoming Funny Girl.
All right, I got one right here. Echo Cullum, 43, TV actor. He usually plays like the brainiacs or nerdy type guys. Turtle Holt Arrow, a Hunter on the Steve Stevens.
I got one. Dante
Rick Morty.
Besco.
Yes.
50. He played Rufio in Hook.
Rufio. Yeah, everybody loved him. He was the cool mohawked leader with the red crazy mohawk. Didn't his character die at the end?
I don't remember.
I got to rewatch it. I got to anyways because of my kids.
I think he did, or they did something to bring him back. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But all right, next one. We already get Elliot Gord, 87, movie actor.
Nice.
I've seen him in The Big Hit and a few others. The Big Hit was one of the ones I loved. He also did a lot of Broadway. Wow,
Oh yeah.
a lot of Broadway.
Here's another one. Swedish actor. She died in 1982 at the age of 67. Ingrid Bergman. She played Ilsa. She played Ilsa Lund in Casablanca. from
You're looking at you, kid.
What about Richard Enterberg, 1923 to 2014, a director, and also didn't he act in Jurassic Park as the? Yeah, he did. He was the
In two of them. He was the first. He was in the first one, and he had a cameo in the second one.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then they just ruined it from there. I enjoyed some of the Jurassic Parks, other ones I don't, but I love dinosaurs. I think it's fun. Ankylosaurus, man, that's my favorite right there. Just whack, hit you with a mace. All right, let's do one more before we shift over to the next one.
Here's one, a politician from 1936 to 2018, Republican John McCain.
I got the first one, the next one. For the next
All right.
next day.
August 30th.
Cameron Diaz, 53, movie actress. She's still a pretty lady.
Yeah. Also, just loved her in Charlie's Angels and in Something About Mary. I don't know if you were a Something About Mary fan, but I was. I love that movie. It was hilarious.
And she was also in The Mask. She was the
I lived life like that.
She was the femme fatale.
A group of guys chasing one girl. That was a very crazy thing. Never do that again. All right, let's do some more here. Who do we got?
Here's one, 95 years old, stock market genius, Warren Buffett.
Nice. Got one right here. Caliano Santes, 1960 to 1992. Wow, really? He was only 32? A world.
How about Louis Black, comedian, 77?
Oh, he died in a car accident. Okay.
He was on The Daily Show. He released 9 comedic albums, like in God We Rust in 2012. He voiced many angry characters angry in 2025 December Disney Inside Out.
Which character or who?
Anger.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is the comedian who's like very angry and rants on about stuff about.
Yeah. All right, so I got one right here. It's Michael Chickles, 62, TV actor.
God. Please tell me that's not his real name.
He played in S.H.I.E.L.D. and he also was the Thing in
oh, poor bastard.
In Fantastic Four. Well, he played in the good one. He played in the one where he actually got to wear the suit stuff and react accordingly, and it was fun. I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed 1, 2. I didn't care for it. The Silver Surfer, how they did it was just bad. And then they remade it really bad. Then they remade it again really bad.
I don't know. I thought the new one was pretty good.
Oh, well, I know you would with your politics. Nothing against that, but no, they ruined. They made Mr. Fantastic horrible, and he barely used his powers. He was kind of weak about a lot of things. Also the actor Pedro Pascal. I've seen him in so many things lately, and just I'm getting to fatigue about seeing this dude. Like I loved him in Mandalorian. I didn't get to see his face. He acted accordingly he was supposed to, but then once he started coming out with all his virtue signaling, I wasn't caring anymore. Because actors shouldn't be putting their politics and getting their large following to push for agendas. Those are my thoughts.
Here's another one, 46 years old, Broadway actress, Marin Ireland. She's a play actress. She does a lot of drama and rom-com stuff.
Oh, yeah. Got another one right here. Louis Black, 77, comedian.
We did that one.
Oh, you did? Wow. All right, got a. What about Wow, we already did that one too. Okay, I guess we're already on the next one.
31.
We're on the 31st.
Mm-hmm.
We went all the way to the bottom.
And here we'll start this one off at 54. Chris Tucker. He's been
He was
so
in Rush
good.
Hour 4.
Yeah, he was in all the Rush Hours with Jackie Chan. He's also from Fifth Element, as well as Money Talks and Friday.
Oh, Chris Tucker. I love Chris Tucker. He's awesome, man. I feel actually really bad from Fifth Element because actually when he was in that super tight suits like that, it had a brace thing that was holding him up and stiffing him the whole time. So he was stuck like this.
And to think that role was originally made for Prince.
Yeah. Oh man, that would have been interesting with Prince. But I think Chris Tucker was a better idea because of the charisma.
Oh,
and
here's one for
also
you.
And
the
the energy.
physicality of Bruce Willis grabbing him and stuff and his reactions. I don't think Prince would have reacted accordingly.
Mm-mm.
Prince would have
And
tried
I
to
also think it was just the energy he projected with that
Yeah.
character.
It wouldn't have. Chris Tucker, it worked. It just the whole, oh crap, I'm going to get my ass beaten. No, please don't hurt me because of Friday. I remember the Friday movies, how he would react. But I've watched and I've watched Prince. I've seen his acting. It wouldn't have worked.
Mm-mm. Here's one for you, Henry.
Yes. Ooh, Jeff Hardy,
Yes.
48, pro wrestler, the master of the Swanton dive, like the master of the Swanton. I think he's the creator of the Swanton. Him and his brother, the Hardy Boys, which I can't count how many people when I grow out my chin strap and everything else, and I was in pro wrestling, they all thought I was the third Hardy Boy, which would have been cool. I wouldn't have minded, but I
I
definitely
wouldn't
don't
be shocked if you have some relation.
that would be hilarious. But I'm bigger than them. It just would have been funny as like, you're the little brother, and I'm bigger than both of them. They weren't that big. They barely reached 6 foot.
How about Dean Bradley Baker, 63? He's a voice actor who plays the Claus Hessler in American Dad. Several roles in the Simmers and Shine. Cinnamon Bun in Adventure Time. Wild Matt in Ben 10. And he voice acts in Clone Troopers in the Star Wars series. The Star Wars Clone Wars.
What about we got Richard Gere here, 76, movie actor.
Mhm.
Remember him in Mother, Father, Son, Chicago, Primal Fear, Pretty Woman. I remember him in Pretty Woman. Don't judge me.
There's
Here's
another
another
wrestler,
one.
Henry.
Wrestler Athena, aka Ember Moon, former NXT star and also ACW champ.
Did we do Mickey James?
No. Oh wow, yeah. Mickey
Jeez,
James.
that's three of them.
All the same. I actually had a big crush on her back in the day for pro wrestling when she came out. Was not expecting her to do Playboy. Still have the magazine. I have all the WWE Superstar Girls magazines from Playboy that at least until I think 2012. After that, never again. It was a waste of money. Plus, I was like, internet.
And they're all stuck together.
Half. There's designated ones for that. No. All you guys know what that is. All you girls, what does that mean?
Here's another one. 80 years old, Van Morrison. He's the vocalist that sang the song Brown Eyed Girl,
All
as
right.
well as Moondance.
All right, so we'll shift over from there to now September.
Oh, here's one. TV host Coyote Peterson, 44. He's that guy who an animal expert and adventurer known for hosting a digital Emmy win. He's also the guy who lets bugs sting him on camera.
All right, I got one right here. Dr. Phil, 75, TV show host, and also comedian because he's also popped up in a bunch of funny movies. I just think,
including Scary Movie.
yeah, I think that's hilarious that he does psychology, helping all these people out, and then you see him in these perverted, raunchy comedies, and you're just like, I love this. I love that Dr. Phil comes in and just lectures you and leaves, and you're just like, did he just show up to our movie set just for this? Yeah, keep it in the show. Keep it. I would. I mean, if Dr. Phil showed up in our show, I'd keep it going. Like, it's Dr. Phil.
Here's one. Disney star Zendaya, 29.
I got one. Bern Gorman, 51. He was known as Dr. Owen Harper in the BBC series Torchwood for 2 seasons. Then he got killed off. And he was also in Pacific Rim.
Oh, yeah. I like Pacific Rim.
As the doctor. I think he was the doctor with the cane.
Oh, yeah. Here's one. Anne Eugene, 22, pop singer. She is from the iZone and Ivy group. Wow. Sharing 2 groups. Cool.
Here's another pop singer, Gloria Estefan.
I was just going to get to her.
Oh, God. Could you imagine that? How about Scott Speedsman, TV actor, 50. He also portrayed a gothic creature in the Underworld series.
Nice. Let's see. Let's do one more.
Actually, we do 2 more. Lily Tomlin, 86. She was actually in the newest one called Grace and Franklin, and she was also in a movie called 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And for the last one for September 1st, Barry Gibb, former lead singer of the Bee Gees.
I got the first one, the next one. I called dibs on it.
All right, September 2nd.
Yep.
Keanu Reeves, 61.
Oh, you son of a hooker. I was going to get that. That was the one I was waiting on. I'll get you next time.
Oh, here we go. EDM DJ Zed. It's 36.
Nice.
Amazing dubstep DJ.
Oh, I got one right here. Cat Williams, 54, comedian. This dude spits so much fire and funny. He's also on Friday After Next as
iconic.
He was the pimp that grabbed the big dude by his balls with the pipe wrench and clamped him in place. He mostly played that pimp. he played it in Eddie Murphy stuff. He played it in Norman. Wow. He just played the same character in like 8 movies.
Works for Harrison Ford.
I mean, yeah.
I know.
Not trying to be rude, Harrison Ford. I love your movies. I'm a big Indiana Jones fan and a big Han Solo fan. Also, the one president one you say, get off my plane, I enjoyed that. I don't remember the rest of the movies you're in because all the rest of them are the same thing.
Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah, Blade Runner. Okay, there's the one I give you.
I think it was in The Hunt for Red October, too.
I think he hated Blade Runner.
Here's one. Mark Harmon. He's from NCIS, as well as he played in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, as well as in Freaky Friday.
Okay, I got one right here. Bradley Brocola, 23, a soccer player. Where do you play for your soccer? The Olympic contract. Wow, he was in the Olympics for it. I give him mad respect.
How about Mary Jo Catlin, 87. She is the voice of Mrs. Puff in SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh.
Wow, I did not know that was her. Still looks good for 87. You know what? Not bad. And then we got here, Terry Bradshaw, 77, football player. Also, he spoke a lot about football. There was a TV show that he was in that was about football.
Mhm.
Oh, mine's football.
Anything and everything in football. His whole life was football.
Henry, you can have the next
How
one.
about-
I know someone we will want to.
How about this one? Keir Starmer. He's the former British Director of Public Prosecution, and and that was from 2008 to 2013.
All right, we're going to go to September 3rd now. Let's see, who do we got in here? That's a lot of TikTok and YouTube stars. Sorry, unless I really know you, I'm not going to say hi to those ones.
Oh,
All right, we got Charlie Sheen,
There
60
you go.
TV actor. It took a minute. There's a lot of people in here.
And movie actor. He was also in Platoon.
Oh, he was in a lot of things. I liked him in 2.5 Men. I loved him in all the movies that he was in. He's a great comedian. It is funny that they put him under house arrest, and he has such a big mansion, and he owned this teeny little Mini Cooper. He literally had a party and just drove it around, and people just were fine where he was, and he never hit anybody and doing a bunch of drugs. He actually made a commercial about it too. He's like, yeah, they locked me in house arrest, so I'm promoting for my house, by the way. Here's the beer I'm promoting. And I'm just like, is that the whole commercial? He's like, I drove a car in my house. And I'm just like, okay. You know what? I bought the beer that night. Promoted it great. I don't remember what the beer was, but man, it was good.
how about this one? Omi. He's 39, pop singer. He's the one that sang that song Cheerleader.
Oh. Oh, wow.
And
Oh,
also here, Red Foo, 50. He's from LMFAO.
oh, man. I enjoyed the 5-year reign of LMFAO before Red Foo screwed over Sky Blue in the most messed up way as a fan. Like, he was an awesome dude, but sadly, the one thing he did that made the whole thing fall apart was when his nephew fell down and had a seizure. He didn't go and pick him up or take care of him or anything. He just kept going. Even though he knew what was happening, he kept going. I was like, no, that's something you need to stop for. In a show, you have to stop for the period. But he knows it, and they also make you look bad if you keep going, which he did. And that was it. And then they got sued because they took one more song to try to make one more song, and they took it from somebody they weren't supposed to, and they didn't do copyright properly, and they got sued. I'm glad he's having a good life now and happy being a father now. But next time, homie, family first. You should know this. You're 50. Happy birthday. Am I an asshole? We all have one.
Yeah, but you're a soft one.
Well, it's not soft at all. All right, Steven Shapira, 68, TV actor.
Oh, Steve Sherpa?
Yeah,
Shapia?
from Sopranos, The Secret Life of the American Teenager, film casino stuff.
He's also in Blue Bloods as a cop. He
Yep.
plays a lot of cops. Or he's either a cop or a gangster.
Which is hilarious. He's either one or the other. Which one do you want me for? I'm cop or gangster? Well, I need both. I can play both, but they're going to be in the same scene. Got the clothes ready? All right, we'll do one more before we shift over to the next one.
No, that's it. That's it.
Sean White, snowboarder. He's 39.
Nice. And we got another one right here. Is Maria Bamford, 55, comedian.
Sean White's actually an Olympic gold medal winner.
Ooh, actually, they're more. That's more respectful than actors in a lot of ways. Not trying to be rude to you actors, because I'm an actor too, but I'm also an athlete. And it's way harder and way tougher and way more strain and stress and push on your body being an athlete and having skills and techniques. Like, if you're both, kudos, because I am too.
But that is all for today. Because that was all today. Today is the 3rd.
Yep. And happy birthday to all those movie stars, actors, pop singers, and musicians, and whoever else that we said to, and some of the YouTube stars. Thank you.
Sorry we didn't get to all y'all.
keep living a long, happy life. Happy birthday.
Yep. And now it is on to our Warhammer lore.
I wasn't expecting you doing Warhammer lore today.
You're the one that said every time.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's my fault.
You have so much lore. You can go off anything, even just jump off something.
Okay. Let's talk about the 10th First and Only of the Astra Militarum. The 10th First and Only were a regiment that only had one regiment. And because the home planet in which 10th came off of was destroyed by Chaos forces during the Sabbath War in the eastern part? Question mark? I don't remember. During the Sabbath War, where this is when a commissar named Ibrahim Gaunt became a colonel commissar. Ibrahim Gaunt became the head of the 10th First and Only, or Gaunt's Ghosts. Now, the Gaunt's Ghosts have done a lot during this war. They actually were presumed dead several times. That is how hardcore they were. They fought Chaos forces for many battles. In fact, there's an entire book series of 15. That's 15 books are all about them. There were many characters. Now, many of the characters died. Many beloved characters were died. Colm. Some of the ones that survived were Roth. He was the troublemaker. He was the troublemaker who almost killed Gaunt in a campaign to make it look like an accident, because he blames Gaunt for the death of his home world. Because Gaunt had a choice. He could have stood there and fought, and knowing that the planet was doomed anyway, or he could have gotten as much assets off of the planet before the planet burned, and he chose to get as many assets off the planet before the planet burned. To many of the 10th, that viewed it as a betrayal. Now, that helps a lot. Let's get some. We'll get lower up here. Now, the 10th First and Only did fought for many battles, and their numbers did dwindle until they reached a place called Vervenhive. This is where they fought a pitched battle between two rival hives, where Chaos forces were pushing against the hive very hard. It's one of the first times in the book series that Gaunt had to do a summary execution of a command of using his authority as a commissar to summary execute somebody who betrayed his duties, who wasn't performing his duties to adequate. Now, the 10th First and Only are a scout regiment. They literally cannot lose their way. The planet in which they came from actually has trees that actually move, like literally pick themselves up and move. So trying to find your way in that kind of a forest is nearly impossible. But the 10th learned how to do it, and so they are excellent scouts and reconnaissance. And drop troopers, not drop troopers. I'd say paratroopers. More often than not, they were sent behind enemy lines and had to do whatever they had to do to survive. Now, they fought throughout. Usually, they were a light infantry, so they only had light armor, a rifle, grenades or stick bombs, and a camo cloaks. Once they had those camel coats on, you couldn't see them. One of their favorite weapons was what every 10th soldier had was a thing called straight silver, which was a war knife, and they used that thing very often. They were very effective with that knife. They mostly fought Chaos God, or the Blood Pact, and they were very good at what they did. They did get reinforced, repeated several times through volunteers, basically. When Verminhive, when they finished the battle at Verminhive, the Verminhive was so badly damaged and destroyed, they actually decommissioned it. They actually decommissioned the entire Hive City. And so the people of Verminhive had a choice. You either went to the other hives or you went with the regiment. And a lot of them went with the regiment. So they got reinforced like the Dickens. And they fought on many planets and many worlds. In fact, they even got dropped behind enemy lines on a planet to execute a traitor, knowing that they most likely would not be getting off that planet. And for many, many years during that mission, they didn't. They did eventually get off the planet, but they were viewed with suspicion. Because how can somebody who's been in deep and enemy territory could ever be, chaos free? But they were. Well, to some degree. You can't go to some place like that and not be marked. Notable during the Sabbath World Crusades, some of their notable is Blackshire, Vermintide, Romulan, Cameron, Typhoid 8, and blah 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 blah. That's pretty much it. I can't really think of anything else. You guys got any questions?
So it was only one regiment, and they were never allowed to have another regiment. It just was over after that.
The reason why there was actually 3 regiments to begin with, but the planet got destroyed, and they only got off. I think it was like 10,000.
So just enough to keep only one alive, one squad or one regiment.
Yeah, Grant survived by being one of the last members of the regiment to get off planet. And so they usually have 3 full regiments. 2 of them were destroyed, and their command structure was pretty much gutted. Gaunt being colonel, being granted a very rare privilege, which was being a commissioned officer as well as a commissar. Because remember, a commissar is supposed to be separate from the actual regiments because they have to do their duties is sometimes have to execute the guys.
Yeah.
So that's why they're called the 10th Regiment, the first and only, because there was only one regiment.
Nice.
They only had enough soldiers to fill one regiment. But that regiment made their mark very well. They did lose soldiers. Every time they went to battle, they lost people, which it's war. That's what happens. And when they reached Vervinhive, that's when they got reinforced. There was some tension. There was some tension between the two for many, many times, but eventually they solidified and became one unit.
All right, so that looks like that's it for the lore.
Yep.
I think it's time for our next segment. What do you say, Thunderbase Studios? Thunderbase.
Thunder. Earth to Devante.
Sorry, my pack decided it wanted to go take a little trip. Don't know why.
Oh my. Well, I hope everything's okay.
So we're done on that subject then?
Oh, yes.
All right, then we're moving on to the gaming.
want to talk about the new Fallout series that's coming out.
It's game time.
The new Fallout season that's coming out in December 17th. This is not sponsored, by the way. Don't we wish?
If they were, you would know.
We wish we were sponsored by Amazon. Ooh.
Oh, not by Amazon. I've worked for that.
Get that Amazon money.
The only way that will work is if I get an apology from their corrupt HR.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the first seat. Are we allowed to put the trailer on, or no?
As long as you pause it every between 5 to 10 seconds.
Not worth it then. I saw the second season trailer for the Fallout series, and there is. I will tell you this: there is a death call in it, and yes, they do exactly what every gamer does, which is run away.
Yeah, be fun to play. I haven't played Fallout in a while. I enjoyed and remembered 2. Never got to play 1 until I got older. What I remember is 3 because I have the special edition. And then I got New Vegas. I've watched people play 4. I have myself not had a chance to. I know friends that play a lot of these games with mods. And it's not even the same game after the mods end, but it's really cool.
I've played 3 New Vegas and 4. I've not played any of the DLCs for 4 because I'm broke and I can't afford to spend my money on something that's not going to bring me any that's not going to bring. I mean, I was kind of indifferent with 4 because it's just like, yeah, it's fun, but it's just like, I was like, I'm currently playing New Vegas again because I don't think I ever finished any of the many of the DLCs. I think I missed like 2 of them that I didn't finish.
Played every Fallout except for the first one and then 76. Those are the only 2 I haven't played.
I forgot all about 76.
You ever heard of a PS2 game called Fallout Brotherhood of Steel?
Yes.
I used to have that one. I got it. I think I got it in Canada.
Canada.
I don't remember where. Actually, I think I got it in Canada or I got it someplace. I don't remember actually where I got it. And there was the first time I ever played a Fallout game, and it was a third person. It was a top down where you action adventure game where you
that's how Fallout 1 and 2 kind of were too.
Yep.
Tacticus.
Yeah, it was originally a top screen down where you played that way.
The majority of games were like that back then.
It was the easier way to control and make it look like it was a big adventure in a big world when actually it was just a smaller world, just being respawned over and over again with just slight differences. Right, that's what they had to do with a lot of old games for a long time, just changing the skin.
Like the only Fallout game I ever actually finished was Fallout 3.
Yeah, I finished 3. I finished New Vegas once, but that was with help with my my one friend Sarah. Her and me used to hang out all the time. It was Sarah B. Man, she was so cool. We used to play games all the time. She actually made a streaming channel a while back before she disappeared.
You also wanted to talk about the Twisted Metal series.
Oh, yeah, dude. There's something I want to talk to you guys about. Twisted Metal. No joke. I loved the video games back in the day. And then they made the show. And at first I was skeptical going, oh, please don't tell me they're going to ruin something I loved back in the 90s. No, they delivered what we all expected. For anybody that's ever played Twisted Metal and knows the storyline of each character, they pretty much take the synopsis of each character, place them in this world in a certain time setting in place, and they're just like, have fun.
And of course, there is no Twisted Metal without Sweet Tooth.
Oh, yeah. One of the
can't have a Twisted Metal game or series without that character.
Yep, Sweet Tooth. They got Grim. Grim and Sweet Tooth, two of my favorites. John Doe's in there. I think DJ Thunderbase here would love John Doe. John Doe's one of the most badass motherfuckers there is when it comes to car driving and racing. Like, it didn't care what vehicle it was. He got in it, he screwed you up. I love how they had.
I've played all the Twisted Metal games. I just haven't seen the series yet.
Oh, dude, you're gonna love the series. They focus on John Doe as the main character.
I did play briefly.
It's like playing you.
One of the first Twisted Metal games. Never finished it because because I'm not really into racing games.
Oh, it's not exactly racing. It's
I know it's not actually a racing game, but I just get too frustrated, and I'm like, I just don't want. When I get too frustrated, I just don't want to play it. And
it's one of those got to understand the mechanics, and it's one of those games you have to trial and error to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I replayed it because I have it, and I was showing my wife Twisted Metal Black. Replaying it with my buddy James, and I'm just sitting there going, like, trying to reminisce, like, this is cool, Dad. Damn, I didn't even get a chance to look around. Oh, this is awesome, Dad. Okay, maybe I need to start killing things.
And then I've seen bits and pieces of the Twisted Metal series, and I agree with Henry. It's they captured the character. They picked the right actors for the characters, and they captured the essence of what the series is about.
Yep, I also like that Samoa Joe played Sweet Tooth, but they had somebody else voice over him. Because Samoa Joe's voice is good and all, but to the guy that voiced him as Sweet Tooth, on point. And the concept of how the story and all the characters go and how they lead up and line up is really cool. And in the first season, you only get a little bit of Twisted Metal and like near the end, and just a little bit here and there. Like, there is some at the beginning, there is some in the middle, and at the end there's a lot. And then season 2, it's all it pretty much is. There's occasional episodes of, like, story building and character arc, which in filler and stuff, but some of it's just fun. I love it because the characters are so out there. It's not like regular, oh, here's this guy. No, it's like, here's this psychopath and this crazy motherfucker and this suicidal crazy and this psychotic and this like enjoyable murder clown, and then all the rest. And then here's this crazy grim guy that takes your soul. It's like, nonetheless.
It just so happens to set his head on fire.
Oh yeah, he does, and it's so cool because they actually do all of it, and everybody's like, "How is he going to do it? How is he going to do it?" And they show how they do it in the show, and it was
Samoa Joe. He'll actually light his head on fire.
Oh yeah. They used the whole gelatin or the stuff to make it so it wouldn't fry his skin, and then it was cool for the first couple times. Now they did more CG-ish, a bit more in season 2, but you barely notice it because of how they got the fire like just right on his head.
But I will say this:
original fire.
For every good series that's a video game series or movie that's been adapted, there are some bad ones.
But Twisted Metal's not one of them. Twisted Metal's
not one of them. Twisted Metal's really good. That's the where you want to be.
Oh, I
like movies that are like they try to make it look good, but it just completely missed.
Oh yeah, like how they butchered the live action adaptation of Bleach,
or Avatar,
or Halo.
Last Airbender. Oh yeah, Halo.
Or I was thinking of the Super Mario Brothers movies in the 90s.
Yeah, the 90s Mario Brothers movie.
I personally enjoyed it.
I did too, but it wasn't. It wasn't Mario Brothers.
But if
but
I
had
was the only real choice, I would not buy it.
Oh no, I buy it. I own it. I will rewatch that movie 100 times for the laughs. The crazy world that is, you can make your own story off that world. It would not be. It doesn't. It's not Mario in some way. Like, the only thing is there's a few depictions. The only thing that actually was Mario in the whole thing was the Babam. You seen the Babam? You went, oh shit. Technically Yoshi, but it was a little raptor, and that's it. Yeah, that everybody else was.
And he wasn't even green.
Yeah, he was like tannish. He was only green in certain lights. Peach.
And we all know the blue Yoshi is the best one.
Mario and Luigi, it was just comedic, but it wasn't Mario and Luigi. Also, why didn't John Leguizamo get the mustache? Like, seriously, he could grow a mustache, and he didn't grow a stash for the role. Or even just had a fake gaudy one, which would have been funnier, is that he did it as a play and a joke the whole damn
To be
time.
honest, I think it might have had something to do with the director.
That, yeah, and also he was a John Leguizamo was kind of in his peak right there, so he kind of could do what he wanted during some acting things. And
then there were some like the Resident Evil movies. Like the first one, it was pretty good. The second one was like, and then after that, I was like, no.
Yeah, some of they what they did was they flopped it a lot, but then when they came near the end, they fixed it. Like they wrapped it back up nicely. It's like that funny horse meme, but you see the very beginning is good, the very end is good, the whole middle is crap. Like it's just enjoyable, and I like how they do wrap it up and kill up all the clones that she makes of herself, like hundreds and hundreds of clones, and they kill them all, and it's just her again. And I'm like, okay, at least they did that again, but what the hell? And then they finally bring in all the characters that we've all been waiting for the past 5-6 movies. And they should have been in all these movies. What they did do in the 3D animation versions of them was really good. The animated the CG movies of the Resident Evils. Those are all good. Those are all golden. Every one of those. There's like 3 or 4 of them.
Well, that's because in the CGI, you can actually do a lot of the things that you could do in the
Well,
video.
that's because the Resident Evil video stuff you were seeing was their little CG video stuff. They just expanded it into the story. And instead of you playing the game, they just made it into the story of how it was going to play. I loved it. It was great. But Laura Croft for Tomb Raider, the first one was good. The second one was eh. And then they did the remake, which was good. And the second one was eh.
And then I was thinking like Ready Player One. It's just like I've not seen the movie because I like the book better and I didn't want to spoil it to myself.
I seen it. It was there were some mentions.
The problem is with Ready Player One is that there were so many references and pop references, and it's like getting all of that would be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, for licensing things, like they would have had to pay top dollar for every single thing, and Sony was like, no.
But then they got Steven Spielberg, who said, "Oh yeah, I can just put all my stuff in there." But it's like, no, that's like this isn't Ready Player One was not a Steven Spielberg jack-off fest. It was
right.
It's like it had references to Steven Spielberg, but it didn't have only him. And that's what really annoyed me about it.
Yeah, that's because that's all they could get at the time for licensing. But on that note, we'll leave it at that. We'll come back to that next week, some more on some gaming.
Now it is time for everyone's favorite moment. It is our political chat. Wait.
Yay, let's play teams. Your side, my side. Let's hate each other. No, it's so stupid. All right, let's get to the middle, guys.
Let's be actual Americans and work together to make our country great.
Right? Melting pot. All right, so the first minute or two is what we really I just wanted to listen to. Besides that, we don't need the whole 10 minutes of them spiel. It's just about it.
From Reuters, my friends, we are going in. Trump to send National Guard troops to Chicago. And I say, thank you, Mr. President. President Donald Trump said on Tuesday he would deploy National Guard troops to fight crime in Chicago, an extraordinary effort to militarize the country's third largest city that was likely to trigger a legal battle with local officials. We're going in. I didn't say when, but we're going in, Trump told reporters at the White House. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson swiftly condemned the action. Quote, he just wants his own secret police force that will do publicity stunts whenever his poll numbers are sinking, whenever his jobs report shows a stagnating economy, whenever he needs another distraction from his failures. Hours earlier, a federal judge blocked the Trump admin from using military to fight crime in California, a ruling that does not apply to other states. But the judge said the Trump stated desire to send troops to Chicago and other cities provided support for his ruling. Now, we also have this from the 8th.
Yeah, so right there. Thank you, Tim Cass from timcast.com for what you guys do. You guys do great. You're inspiration to a lot of us. Yeah, right there. What he's explaining is he pulled up the laws of what Trump's doing is actually the correct way of doing it, not the unconstitutional way, showing everybody he can follow the rules and still work along the lines. and it is improving and helping. There's some pros, there's some cons of things, but for this, some people are thinking it's just for a photo op. Some people are just like, oh, they're trying to push. No, they're helping and making sure things are done correctly without intervention of these secret third parties that have been invested in and trying to do shady things, try to attack the police officers or the ICE officers doing their job.
Except the problem is he can't do that because the army cannot be used as a police force, because that is how the British did it back in the day, and they wrote a law to stop it.
That's the thing. He's not doing it in that way. If you guys read what is, and the reason they are being initially set out, they're being set out for the reason of just protecting the police officers and doing the duties that are needed. They are not doing anything of actual policing. They're not being MPs. They will be probably making some kind of specialized military for policing in the future that are just to make sure that the bad people that are waiting and lurking can't actually spry up and rob people or kill them or murder or rape or do all that other horrible stuff that everybody gets worried about. And I get it. I've lived in these places. I've been in Chicago numerous times. Hell, I've been in so many different times where I'm doing performances and shows and fighting events, and people have to stop what they're doing in the middle of a match because there was gunshots, and we're not sure if it was in the building or next to the building. We weren't sure if someone was shot or not until at least a minute or two later. It was like, everybody good? Okay. And then I turn around and get punched in the face. It was great. But at the same time, he's putting it in the cities and the places that do need it at times. There are...
You're not doing it in the red states. Because statistically speaking, the red states are the ones that have the more crime than the blue states.
Well, the statistics that you have are only showing one side, where the statistics I'm looking at show the opposite when it comes to crime. And also the thing is that the people in more of the red states are better off taking care of it because they have the proper police enforcement. Where in the blue states, sadly, what they did, the whole defunding the police, it did defund quite a bit, and it was a bad idea. It destroyed and damaged and ruined a lot of people's lives. As some of these places like Chicago, where they had over 900 police officers, now they have 3. That's 1/3 of what you need to defend. But on to the next one.
A battle over free speech is unfolding here in the Dayville section of Killingly. It has to do with these anti-Trump signs, a slew of them in this resident's front yard criticizing the president. It's upsetting some people in town, especially since this home on Upper Maple Street is near a middle school. According to the Day newspaper, over the weekend, pictures circulated Facebook showing the resident carrying a firearm on his front lawn and the roof of his home, causing even more concern.
There is that First Amendment to allow you to have freedom of speech, but it's out of respect, mainly.
But some say he has a right to express his opinion.
At the end of the day,
but there's a difference between
Killingly's town manager in a statement said they've received multiple complaints about the signs, but said the content is protected speech under the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which guarantees the right to free expression, including political speech, even when it is controversial or offensive to some.
The concept is, as long as it's not inciting any violence or anything, it has to fall under
all he's doing is, and that's the point I'm trying to make, is like
the point is, though, is you're doing it in front of what you knowingly know there's a middle school, and you're talking about rape to these children and expressing your political view to children in a rude, abrupt manner. Like, he's doing it in it's the point of like an over exaggeration. Like you're pushing.
It's not a legal thing, but it's a morality thing.
Yeah, for that, the legal part, he is going tooth and nail on his freedom of speech. Yes, as an American, until someone, which I highly doubt he'll respect other people's opposition of views, as he would be very upset if someone said opposite of. But the concept of he's pushing it on others, that's what it seems like it is. Yes, you're pushing on your lawn, but you're literally making it a beacon. Like, you're causing animosity and drama because you want it. Either the person wants the attention. It's an attention seek more. That's what I'm seeing there. Like, you can express your political.
I see it as a guy expressing his First Amendment right to free speech.
He
has a right to put that stuff on it. Is it nice? Is it warranted? No, but he should have the right to post whatever the hell he wants on his house. If he owns the house, if it's his land, it's his property, he could post a naked picture of Pamela Anderson on his porch if he wanted to.
No, you can't put nudity.
You get what I point.
You can't put nudity, but that's the point is that it stuff that involves such as like the also false accusations and stuff. Also, just you're putting the word like certain words out there, like the F word and everything. You're not supposed to be putting swear words and cuss words on billboards. You're not allowed to.
But it's not a billboard. There's signs they put on it.
And even usually in people's houses, you're not supposed to on front of your giant lawn a big FU part, especially if they're part of a community, depending if he is part of a house community or if he actually owns his house.
See if I can find a picture of it uncensored. That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, like it looks like the F word was in there. The rape word was in there. A few other words were in there.
Well, I will say this: if you do find one, we're not putting it up.
Of course we're not putting it up. I'm just saying.
It's for him to confirm. It's
I
just
see what he actually said.
I don't know. It's just that he's doing it more for attention. That's what it is, though. It's attention seeking, attention grabbing. Please look at me. Please pay attention to me. This will get me views and followers, and then maybe some people will invest in me or something. And then they'll think of him being some kind of crazy hero or radical because of they're going to argue over free speech and, oh, you got to take this down. Then they're going to be like, look, oh, the right goes against free speech. Oh, the left doesn't. When actually, in all actuality, it's the opposite. The left goes against the free speech.
They both do.
It depends on the categories, but most of the time it leans the opposite when it comes to the scale.
I found two, but it doesn't really get a good look at it. What it says on the top one.
It's the concept of he can do that, but why is he doing it so big, so proud, over like an abundant, deliberately to cause? Because he knows this is going to cause animosity.
I think it's more just to have people like us having a conversation about it.
Yeah, that's the point. That's what I'm saying. It's doing things like that and pushing a narrative. It's pushing certain things. So for me, it's an attention grab. Oh, people are paying attention to me now, finally. Because I said these things and I did this thing in front of a middle school. And I don't know if there's any laws about certain things that can't be like around middle schools and a certain thing of certain wordings, such as cuss words or, strippers or alcohol or anything else.
It also might be like depending on the state as well.
Yeah, and that all falls under it too. So a lot of that can be caught up in court for years for argumentation, but he does have the freedom of speech to do it. He's being an asshole about it.
Oh, I'm not saying
I'm an asshole about freedom of speech too. So just more of on the actual facts side. But let's go on to this one.
I'm curious how much of what Trump is doing actually has to do with population decline. So if you think about what happened to Detroit when this is not necessarily population decline. Detroit lost residents because industry had left. But then you see poverty, crime, and other problems start to emerge. I'm wondering how much of what Trump is doing with sending the National Guard is to try and create a foundation of stability, because in the next 10 years, it is going to get increasingly worse with population decline and infrastructure collapse due to a lack of a labor market.
Human capital.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the largest consumer bases, the boomers, are dying. They're now at the mortality cliff. Gen Alpha is tiny, and Gen Z can't work. You saw that report that said Gen Z brings their parents with them to job interviews.
Unreal.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, those videos are hilarious.
Yeah, Tate brought both his moms.
That's true. Yeah, you're very hospitable, which I respect. So.
But yeah, for that part, they're explaining the population, everything else. They're trying to show unity and everything else. They're trying to make sure they clean up the streets and clean up from all the bad debris, the crackheads, the people that are squatting deliberately. There are the homeless. The homeless can be taken care of properly if we start focusing on them properly, like with their mental health and everything else, and putting them in the proper structure. Some of these people don't choose this life, and you can only fight them so long till you put them in prison, and then they become a rabid animal because they want to be out and just be free and live the life they want, wandering until they die. Some people want that. They should just have a special.
True. Some actually want to go to prison because it gives them 3 odds on a cot.
Well, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. There are those people. There's sadly those people that literally will get out of prison, find out they can't get a job anywhere, they can't get nothing because they were in prison. They go and kill somebody just so they can go back in prison. Just because they know that they get their meals, 3 meals a day, They get somewhere to sleep, and they all got to do is stay quiet, and no one will shank them. And if they make themselves look gritty or ugly, they won't get Bubba alone time. Yeah. I mean, sorry. Flashback. I'm joking. That'd be horrible. Yeah. I've seen
Honestly,
videos.
I disagree. I think he's using the military as a prop for political, so that he can make himself look like he's doing something, and two, it's like as he is doing exactly what he's literally following the dictator cookbook.
No, I've looked at what you're talking about, and I've read that stuff, and no, he's not. He's following under certain strict rules for protection and protecting and cleaning up what is needed. I respect that all those streets are good now. That the crime dropped 85% in every area that the military just showed up. They didn't even have to do anything.
Yeah, but what happens when the military leaves? That crime's just going to come back.
Will it? It all depends. It all depends on the people understanding or learning. If not, like they stated, they might have some special MP that'll be soldiers will be dropped as a squad for protection if the police need backup. The second they're called in, you fucked up. It's one of those fafos. You fuck around and you found out. It's, hey, the police are being assaulted by people and they're dropping bricks and shooting at them with stuff and real guns and fireworks and 3 cops are down. A cop dog is dead. A cop horse has been beaten and his hip is broken. We need somebody in now. They're going to call the MP.
So you're basically suggesting we should become like the English, where we have cops who don't have guns, but then if we need
our cops do have guns. The point, our cops do defend themselves. Just the point is they do get messed up and they're told to stand down. And in the only states they're told to stand down in are the Democratic states, and that's when they get hurt. All the cop injuries that you look around in statistics are the Democratic states. That's because they're ran and the cops are literally working a suicide job because half of them get shot on the job. A female cop one day, it was a couple years ago, they just walked up and popped her just because she was a cop. Same thing to male cops. They just walked up and shot him in the head because he was a cop. And that's messed up. Like, I respect the boys in blue. I know there's some bad ones, but there's only some. There's more good than there's bad, but they're outnumbered. They can't defend and serve and protect. They can't.
Well, it's not just that. It's also they have to follow the law. They can't just go into someone's house and they can't pick a random house on the street and go, that house we need to go search that house, because they have to go get a warrant. They have to follow procedure.
Yeah.
They have to.
Usually they do that 90% of the time, except for the ones that there are some bad ones, which they catch them. And there's a lot of videos of cops catching cops, and they're doing that. And they have I watch that stuff all the time. I watch videos of good cops catching dirty cops all the time. They have their own stings that purposely catch their own sheriffs or their own like head leaders sometimes, which they've caught and they've arrested them and shifted them out, knowing that they were corrupt. They've done that a lot lately. It's a real thing. And when it comes to that stuff, sometimes those are just drug houses that tell stories that are sometimes fictional, some are true. And sometimes the people that are in them, that they are barging in, which is the illegal part, then you find out the people that are in those houses are squatting, which is illegal, and that they stole that house and or they turn it to a drug house. And they're doing, and or there's dead bodies in there for a reason, and they're checking. Or they got called numerous calls and they have to check. I've lived in the hood. I've lived in the ghetto. I've lived in Detroit, River Rouge, and Ecorse and such, and then shifted from Lincoln Park and up. I've lived in Dearborn. I've seen, I've witnessed, I've watched, I've called. I've been a person that's made reports. I've defended people from being raped. I've defended people from bleeding and dying and stabbed. I've taken guys to the hospital that were about to die. If it wasn't for me, they would have died. I've had a random guy jump in my car because of the guy that was trying to stab him because he was trying to give him money, or trying to give him money, and then he wanted to take his wallet, and he said no, so he pulled a knife up to stab him. So the guy ran, and my window was down. He just jumped in like a movie. And literally, I was just like, what the hell's going on? He's like, go, go. And I'm like, I'm going to kill you. Who the hell are you? Then he explained himself while I had a knife in my hand, and I'm going, I'll stab you if you don't get out of my car. I need to find out who you are. It's like, that guy back there was trying to stab me. And you see him walking back trying to chase other people. I'm like, okay, I'll drop you off the next gas station. Don't bother me, or you're going to get this in you. He was nice and kind. He got out of his vehicle, never spoke to me again. Farquaad. I mean, He-Man?
This story is also about a global uprising.
Do you remember Greta Thunberg? And we got suspended for making fun of her because she was 17. But she's not 17 anymore. She's an adult.
About how people are stepping up when our governments fail to do so. For every politician that is fueling the genocide, further environmental and climate destruction,
Why are you lying?
and further
Why are you
colonization
saying the viewers
and
are doing this?
fascism,
So many
there will be
buzzwords.
people escalating the resistance against that.
Environmental genocide is
This big angry purple Jew is going to tell you to fuck off. You're a lying bitch. First off, also, who wore it better, Farquaad or He-Man or Greta?
He-Man.
He-Man did. He danced with it and looked good. But I do love DJ Thunderbass's explanatory of Farquaad. It makes so much sense. Do you want to explain it real quickly, Farquaad, or about Farquaad?
I would actually have to say that it's like, are you serious? The reason he hates fairy tale creatures is because he is the son of Snow White and Grumpy.
And after you say that, it just everything makes sense. How he acts, how he is. And I'm just like,
Also
you know,
makes sense as to why he has access to the magic mirror.
true. Got me on that one too. Damn, that's dark. So when it comes to that stuff with the Greta Thunberg, I've watched her doing numerous stupid things and all this lying and pushing. And you find the guy that's next to her in some of these videos. He actually worked for Hamas, and they found out. And he's in contact with whoever's left, trying to push a narrative, which is still the same thing of the Muslims of what they want. It is a total global domination after raping, killing, murdering, and destroying everybody of any religion and race that is not them, so they can erase all history and make it all about them because their God is actually the devil. And when you know that by actual history and study, not including their prophet, and knowing how their prophet is, and it's actually a lie because you're marrying an 8-year-old. And speaking of, here's a guy that actually was part of all of this stuff that's happening.
I'll tell you something. I don't mind speaking to him after the event if this is what he wants. Okay, and I don't mind actually debating someone. But the thing is, when you accuse someone, you must support. You accuse me of Islamophobia. This is a big accusation. How can be Islamophobic if this is my natural environment? You cannot tell a fish that a fish is afraid of water.
Well, why don't you have the last word? Let me just respond very, very quickly. I don't.
There, he just tried to we'll pause it for a second. Don't delete it. He's going to get worse. But the concept right there is that this guy tried to call him an Islamophobe, not realizing he is originally from Islam, and that he is and was from everything else, and he left that religion. They tried to murder him, and that he worked for all these things, and he defected and came to us and came to the America and came to the Judaism, and is trying to defend and explain this. And the other guy sounds completely American, though, is trying to defend the Muslims on things when actually you study their book and their religion, because they believe in women being property, not people. I don't believe in that. I believe women being people. It's not right. I just think they're property. That's wrong. But carry on.
Islamophobia is a helpful word, right? I think bigotry towards Muslims may be a better one, right? But I'm just using the word that most people understand. When I say that, people know what I'm talking about, right? That's all I'm saying. But we can have this conversation. I want to dwell over the semantics right now, but we could have this conversation more in depth.
Okay, but also you need to understand.
Thank you. I think Mr. Yusuf is saying he's not a bigot.
If it was a different function, okay, and I can talk Islam with you all day long, I have no fear. I have no problem of discussing religion, criticizing religion. It's our freedom in this country. People criticize Christianity, criticize Judaism. They make fun of the gods. Why cannot I make the fun of the gods, that I was brought up? But anyway, this is not the right place. Look, I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to be offensive to anybody, but thank you for bringing the topic. We were focusing on Gaza. You tell me that you're from Sudan. You're about 2,000 miles away. Have you ever been to Palestine?
No. See? So he's just asked them right there about these things. And when he asks these things and these questions to this, the guy just proved that he's never experienced any of this stuff, where this man right here you see that is being interviewed he has gone through all this hell. And this guy, Jewish Uncensored, this really cool dude, he's trying to show everybody what's going on while risking his life while he lives there and everything, and trying to show the world what's really going on. And everybody keeps trying to push propaganda. Like, here's the thing: in Islam, in the religion, and Muslims, if you're gay, they kill you. By the way, if they shove you off a building, they'll murder you, they'll rape you, they'll cut off your genitals, feed them to you, and then kick you off the building. They do a lot of horrible things. I've seen a lot of videos. I actually knew a lot of guys that were Muslim that told me a lot of stories. Some of them showed me videos of what they did when they were over there. Disgusting. And I had to play nice the whole time, going, I am surrounded by 30 people that all could kill me because I can't take all of them. I could take 5, maybe 6. If I had the proper weapon, 10 of them, but there was 30 around. No, game over. I lose.
Okay, Andre the Giant.
Hey, man, I know my limits, and I know how fast and strong, especially back then, to these guys, especially knowing each one of their stats. The only ones that were a threat were the ones further back, and it would have exhausted me to get to them. And I knew I would have died in that process. But it would have been one hell of a fight. But just the point was, it was messed up. And there's things like that out this world, and their main goal, sadly, is world domination in a messed up way, and they admit it. And then you try to ask them about how they feel, and they just don't care, because sadly, some of them are brainwashed. When you study their religion, there's the other ones out there too that they're not worshiping God. They're not praising or respecting. They're not worshiping at the proper of time. They attack into other people's house of worship. They break more laws and rules than anybody of anything, even their own laws and rules. When it comes to it, they're the only religion that talks about mass suicide as a good thing. Yeah, no, I've studied many religions, and even the bad ones aren't as bad as that. They don't worship killing yourself for a falsitude of saying you got 72 of these ladies. Nope, that's not true. And the translation.
Well, it doesn't even actually say ladies. It says
no, it doesn't. Or what kind of virgins could they be?
Yeah, you don't even know that. It could be 72 virgin oils.
It could be 47 introverted incels crying and bitching about the unfairness of the world.
It could be just a room of them all in a room with each other, all of them realizing that all of them were the 72 virgins themselves. That would be dark. But that's the point we're trying to get at with this stuff. So we'll go on to the next clip.
President is in incredibly good health. He's got incredible energy. And while most of the people who work around the President of the United States are younger than he is, I think that we find that he actually is the last person who goes to sleep. He's the last person making phone calls at night. And he's the first person who wakes up and the first person making phone calls in the morning. So yes, things can always happen. Yes, terrible tragedies happen. But I feel very confident the President of the United States is in good shape, is going to serve out the remainder of his term and do great things for the American people. And if, God forbid, there's a terrible tragedy, I can't think of better on-the-job training than what I've gotten over the last 200. President is...
I've heard about this, and I already seen some of this stuff. With the Trump thing, he's of a certain age. He may live out his term. He may not. That's all depending. I hope for the best. But
I doubt it.
Some of the health concerns they're talking about.
I think what's going to happen is we're going to have, and probably by this time next year, he's probably going to be as bad as Biden.
I wouldn't say by then. I'd say maybe the third year is when it's really going to hit. Because I was listening to him live earlier, and he was talking and cracking jokes and doing fine. And the only thing I've noticed though is the movements of him. His like they're talking about the swelling and everything, and that's what happens when you're 78 years old. That's why we shouldn't be having people of that age. I'm glad that he is serving out, but he should have served out the last 4 years. Things would have been better. instead of the shadow, whoever the hell it was running it, that wasn't even Biden. And then whoever is now running would have been a nice thing. Who would have been the new guy this time?
Or a girl.
Depending. You never know. It would have been nice, but we know it wouldn't have been Kamala. It would have been somebody way better. Like, I would have chose.
I think
Tulsi Gabbard.
Kamala ran a good campaign for the time she had. I think that if Biden did not run again at the beginning before all
had more time, it would have been closer, like what you're talking about, but it still would have been she still would have been swamped and lost. But it's mainly because also the things she has said in the past, the things she has done in the past, and then also when she said, I'm going to do the exact same thing that Biden did for 4 years. Everybody was like, what? No. I don't want to run another 4 years of, I lost all my savings. I lost all my money. And me and my wife are very good at money managing. And it was all depleted over time and drained out from all that stuff. Now I'm finally starting to build stuff back up, but boy, howdy, is it difficult. Like, hopefully those certain laws and everything get in place, but I still pretty much got to wait until taxes next year for everything to actually kick in. So I got to suffer for at least 6 more months or 8 more months before I even can get further. That's the upsetting thing about this when it comes to the left and right politics. It's literally not, hey, I'm here to help you. It's, oh, I see what they're doing. I'm doing the opposite. That's dumb. And that's why we don't need that type of stuff. We have our red, we have our blue, we have our purple. You should be having a trifecta. We should always have a triforce and or a trifecta. You're bouncing around between 3 for an understanding, and you have 3 people of communication understanding. When you have 2, you only have so much you can chat about. You need 3 to have it a bit more chaotic. You need those chaotic minds to have a conversation. That's how they become more soothing and understanding. All right, let's try this one.
The Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them. All of them.
Dr. Morton, what do you expect is going to be the impact of Florida's decision here?
You know, I'm concerned about the decision. Vaccines, we have really great evidence and really great science that they are effective to reduce the burden of illness and honestly even reduce deaths in the pediatric population, especially things like influenza, measles, pertussis. So vaccine mandates are a way to improve adherence to the vaccine schedule. And I think we all want the same thing. We want kids to be healthy. And this is one very evidence-based way to do that.
The Surgeon General of Florida made a comment about vaccine mandates that stuck out to me. And I just wanted to get your reaction to it. He said that every vaccine mandate is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. I mean, what is that about?
You know, I'm not sure what that's about at all. Vaccine mandates are present in every state. We have really good longstanding evidence for decades that vaccines are effective. We have really good safety profiles for them. So I think that it's really important to look at the evidence when we're making these public health decisions. And especially for us pediatricians who work with vaccines every single day, we will continue to work with public health officials to do the best thing for the kids in our communities.
I'm gonna sent you one as well, Thunderbase. Another good one to pull up as a short. But also before that, some of that you're trying to talk about the Trump base with it. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, some of it I do get, but what is your response on that with it though?
I think vaccines should be. Certain vaccines should be mandatory, like the childhood eye vaccines, like particularly the ones that are going to be like debilitating, like polio, measles, and
classic, the originals.
That should be mandatory because
the ones we've had
particularly if you're going to go to if you're going to go to the public schools have a right to say your kid cannot come in unless they're fully vaccinated.
Yeah, and I do get that to an extent, and that's why we should still have homeschooling to a certain extent. But at the same time, like, I believe in certain vaccines, but not all, especially not these new ones, not these mRNA ones or anything else, because they're messing people up, and they're starting to pull up the studies. Here's also another thing you need to understand as well that I've noticed. That's a big problem with it, is you look at when they're trying to do the studies and why they tried to cancel doing certain studies of the recent ones. Why did they do that? Why did they try to cancel and hide the studies of the recent stuff? Because there's some truths they don't want to tell people. There's some shady dealings going on. All right. And then
that clip is marked officially boost.
Right, by the Benny Hanna show. This guy's funny. Love this guy. He gets some real good information and everything. Just showing the concept and the issue of what the problems were. It's just the concept of, hey, let's keep open borders. No, that's not. Open borders was a bad idea. That was probably one of Biden's biggest mistakes. I would say out of everything he did do, that was one of his worst, was that. The pushing and mandating of the COVID vaccine and people losing their jobs, that was wrong. A lot of people lost their jobs that said no. And those people were right to say no. And a lot of people got sued and some people died. Not some, a lot more have died.
Well, they had the right to say no. It should not have been mandatory if you wanted to go back to work.
That's what I'm saying. It should not have been mandatory at all whatsoever.
But I can also see on the other side of that, it's like, then if you don't want to get the shot, that's fine. That is your choice. But you also have to face the consequences of not getting the shot.
Well, and this time, the surprisingly, the facing the consequences was a good thing for those people that chose not to. I have lost a lot of family members, sadly, that did take the shot and died. I'm glad I didn't take the shot. I'm healthier than most people I'm around. I don't have any issues or problems when people are around me and they get sick. I rarely ever do get sick. When I do get sick, it's mainly just that 7-year sickness. Every 7 years, I get that reset. Everything comes out of me. It really sucks, but at the same time, that's your whole body resetting. It takes 7 years for every cell to replace it through your whole body. Very interesting thing to learn about. Everything's technically being replaced at all times. So how the hell is a tattoo? But because of scarring. Carry on though. So, do we have any more to pull up, or we want to pull up from the base? If not, we can just have more conversations for a few more minutes.
That was all the videos I got.
All right. Let me give me one moment to check it up. We can have another conversation. For the border, the one thing that pissed me off about Kamala, I think that broke her. I think the worst thing for her, I'll let you know, that hurt her the most was when she was border czar and she only showed up one time and had a horrible 3 interviews about it. That if she did not do it, if she at least showed up and did something, that would have got her. If she would have built that wall up properly, or defended it accordingly, or locked things accordingly, or made things in a proper manner, if she would have fixated on that while Biden was doing his thing and drooling while Obama was taking care of stuff behind closed doors, she would have gotten more votes. If not, she might have won. I'll give you that, right there, Dark Trooper. If she would have done something like that, if she would have proved to everybody, because she had 4 years, and then everybody kept asking her, or asking everybody, they're like, oh, she's great, she's great. I'm like, here's one thing. What is her accomplishments she has done while being vice president / in her actual career, besides putting away a bunch of people for weed, which she bragged about, and then bragged that she was smoking weed while she was putting people away for weed, for dime bags, not big bags of weed, little dime bags that were $10, $20 at most. And they went away for 10 years. And I knew some homies that were like that. And they would come out and it's 10 years later, a whole different world now, and they're telling me how they still think it's a certain time and what kind of music. And I'm like, you okay? He's like, dude, you just get stuck in there and lose time. Track. It's crazy. So have you, in your time, Dark Trooper, ever had any instances of any kind of like issues of druggies or crackheads or anybody trying to assault or attack you or chase you down or anything?
No. I did not protect. I mostly just stayed at home when I was a kid, and I did not have anybody attacking me because I'm 6'4" and I'm 300 pounds. Ain't no crackhead gonna come attacking me because they're not stupid enough to try.
Yeah, they got that one.
But also, I don't go into parts of the world where those kind of people are prominent, unless I have no other choice, or unless I'm going to someplace very specific. I make it a very good habit of not going into places like that.
Yeah, the thing is, you make the habit of it, but there's people that sadly get sucked into it because that's their life and they're born into it, like me. I walked across those streets. I was 3 years old and I watched my first person die. One of my friends, he walked up and waved me. We'd hang out, play with Transformers. One day he was wearing the wrong color shirt, and these guys were driving by. They pulled out their gun and they just started going. They lit up my dad's car. They lit this kid up, and I got to watch brains come out of a head for the first time in my life. I was 3, and my dad grabbed me up and pulled me in, and bullets flying all over, destroyed the front windows, the door. My dad jumped down at the right time. Everything just missed him. Got a hole through his shirt. It was scary. Got me in the house, and we rolled up behind where the kitchen wall was, where it was a little more protected. And all because the kid was wearing a different color shirt than them. And this was the 90s. It was 91. And that was the hood. And that was my first experience as 3. Great trauma that I've had burned in my eyes for years. Besides that, being jumped, attacked, assaulted, horribly abused, stuff like that. Like, yeah, gangs, they'll force you into stuff. I see what happens when the politics go a certain way and what it does to the actual poor community. And then they get brainwashed into voting for more of that, not realizing what it is, because half of them aren't intelligent enough, sadly, to read all that stuff anymore because they're brainwashed and or lack thereof in education deliberately because that's what we're forced into.
Oh, I'm tired.
Yeah. But
any final remarks before we end things out tonight?
Tune in on Friday Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Lowering to Die podcast. Our DM, Henry the Hearts Mace, is going to be our DM. What is our game this week?
All right, so for this week, it's going to be a unique special. It is going to be a custom pro wrestling D&D.
And Grismont will be in there.
Oh, it's going to be funny. So you guys are going to have your own characters that I have 12 miniature wrestlers for this wrestling ring. Of tables, ladders, and chairs, oh my. And trash cans, wrestling belt, even a Money in the Bank.
Yeah, well, this is going to be new characters, so Grismont won't be in it.
You can make this your custom Grismont. It'll be a wrestling Grismont.
And he won't precisely look like Randy Savage, but
definitely make him look like Savage. That's fine. You can call him Grizz Savage.
Yeah. I'll probably just use his sheet anyway. I'm lazy. I was probably just use this Grismont sheet. I just won't use any of his powers.
You still have 3 days to make one, so you're fine if you wanted, or 2 days. But remember, guys, girls, and squirrels, for Rolling to Die, we'll see you all there.
Oh, and like, share, and subscribe. And if you have anything you want to talk about, in the lore section, please leave a comment in the comment section, and we'll discuss it.
Yep. And remember to like, share, and subscribe for Chaotic Minds, as we are here every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're here to discuss any kind of chaos that runs through that mind.
After working an 8-hour shift.
That's normal. And then that including everything else. Ta-ta.